Welcome to the podcast. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube. If not, enjoying the sounds of Ian Page not caring. He is Ian Page. I am Jason Jackson. We have the headlines. Our boy Chris Gotterup. Come on now. 2 for 3.
Rutgers.
We'll get that. By the way, everybody who's connected to Rutgers has written me this week, shouting out their boy Chris. We'll get to him in just a second. Spotlight's going to be fantastic. The one of only, by the way, 3 running backs to win the NFL MVP since the early 2000s. There's Adrian Peterson. There's LaDainian Tomlinson. I'm sorry, there's 4 of them. Sean Alexander. And our guest, Jamal Lewis. He has a brand new brand. He has a great bag. He's going to make IP. He's going to make us some personal bags for our shoe.
Oh, love it.
For our stuff. Because
you know how people
get sloppy with the basket in the back of the cart. We got to keep it tight. Keep it tight back there.
Yeah, well, you know what? I changed in the locker room, so I ain't worried.
Yes, you're elegant that way. You're elegant that way.
Yeah.
In the deep drive, IP will co-sign a young player that folks keep dropping Tiger Woods all around. Let's relax for a second.
Stop it.
Exactly, but he's staying in school. We'll make that our deep drive. I want a single. IP, you told me about the single cart. I found one. We're going in range session, and we're going to buy Jax a single cart.
Yeah, we should buy everybody a single cart.
Exactly. 19th hole. Some takes for IP that'll be glorious and a celebration of black golf. But let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, he always tees off first. He's a great player. He hits a beautiful draw on the tee out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Ian Page, let's tee off, baby. First things first, let's talk about Chris here. Chris Gotterup wins the Phoenix Open, brought to you by our good friends. I would say hopefully someday they will be at Waste Management. But how about that fire up right there, man? He had 5 birdies in the last 6 holes. He had to go up against Hideki Matsuyama. And then Hideki helped out a little bit, IP, in the playoff.
A little bit.
But Gotterup with the 64, a long birdie putt on the first playoff hole. We didn't have to hang around waiting a whole lot after Matsuyama pulled his tee shot into the water.
Yeah, which was another debacle for CBS, but I'm not even going to get into that. But I mean, I think I was watching because of course it was leading into the Super Bowl. And I think Gotterup, when he hit his shot on 18 in regulation, had like a 0.8% chance to win by whatever these metrics are today. Yeah, because at that point. But again, you don't think that, first of all, Hideki should have birdied 17 and he should have made par on 18, but it would have been over. But he didn't. But Gotterup can play, and I think, again, we keep talking about it, and you keep hearing me say it, fairways are overrated. Hideki only hit 2 fairways. I don't know how many Gotterup hit, not many, but Gotterup hits it so friggin' far that it's scary. I mean, that drive in the playoff, I know you were traveling, I think. I mean, dog, I don't know what it was. It was 380 or something. It was unbelievable. I mean, he had 89 yards, a lob wedge in to the green on 18. I mean, I was there at the tournament. I must have been 05 or 06 in person when J.B. Holmes won it, and he was long, and he hit it over that left bunker. And I was actually there, and I came out from around the grandstands, and so people were like, "Oh, is that his second shot? Did he have trouble? Did he have to punch out?" I was like, "No, that's his drive." Okay, and Gotterup must have been 40 yards in front of that. So again, his ball speed is up there at 190 plus elite. And again, if you're going to compete in the PGA Tour these years, for the most part, you got to be 180 plus. He's 190-ish. Guy's won twice this year. He won the Scottish Open last year, so good for him. But distance is a big deal. We keep talking about it. I'm just telling you, it's a separator like you wouldn't believe.
Pound it from Gotterup giddy up to Reed this, baby. Patrick Reed capping off his remarkable month in the Middle East by winning the Qatar Masters on Sunday. His second European Tour victory in 3 weeks. So Patrick and Chris almost mirroring each other. And that all but assures the former Masters champion will have a full PGA Tour card in 2027. We were talking about the many ways that Reed is going to find his way back into the arms of the PGA Tour. But he even mentioned, and I think we shared a couple weeks ago, that his work on the world tour was really going to be the thing that got him the full status he was looking for a year from now on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get. I think in August he's eligible to come back and play. And hey,
Right.
good. He's won the Masters. He's a good player. He's on a little bit of a run now, but we know how these things can go. Just like Gotterup. I mean, guys can get hot. They can win. No one can take those away from you. Can you do it for 8, 10 years? We have to see. But good for him. I mean, the fact that you can win twice in 3 weeks, on any tour is impressive. And the guys, he's always had the game. Remember when he kind of broke on the scene? I don't know if it was the Masters or the old Doral when he was like, I think when I'm playing my best, I'm top 5 in the world. Everyone thought he was crazy. I did too. But, and again, he kind of got there and is big up, but he's a top player, no question about it. And, Brooks Koepka's not, right now, but but Patrick Reed is. We see a guy miss the cut, and then what did he do the week before that? Finished 25 shots off the lead. What was so great about getting him back?
It might reveal itself, IP.
Yeah, I mean,
Working
look,
his way back
there's
into
time left, but I think everyone was over the moon about that. I think again, whatever. Let's move on. But I'm just saying, his best years may be behind him. So
that may be the first little jab by IP on this week's edition of In the Bag. Here comes the next. I can already tell a candidate for the wondrous "Who cares" portion of the program. PGA of America about that business, IP. They've done it again. They've gone outside the game to go bring somebody in to make things awesome, or so that must be the plan, as PGA of America has appointed United Health Group executive Terry Clark to be the next chief executive officer. This is the second time in the last 3 hires the organization has chosen a business leader. How's that going for the country? Who was on its board of directors. So we're reaching from within to try to grow this wonderful game. They are going to a person that knows marketing, though, at least for Terry Clark. He was the chief marketing officer at United Health Group.
yeah, well, they're always looking for marketing and money. So good for them. But they're all about the money. They're all about the business. So hope it works out for them. They got time enough to get the Ryder Cup ready. Which is going to be in Ireland, I think, the next time. Not that anyone really knows or cares until the week of, but, and they got to recover from that debacle at Bethpage. But yeah, they had Seth Waugh. They had this other guy who didn't even last a year because he blew the Ryder Cup. So, I mean, again, it's kind of like most things. All that stuff's under the radar. No one knows who this guy is that watches golf on Sunday. It doesn't really matter. But
see him in a nice blazer coming up.
Yeah, exactly. He'll
PGA
present the
Championship.
Wanamaker Trophy,
Yeah.
and he'll be at the Ryder Cup. So whatever. He's a suit that makes a bunch of money and whatever. So
Our last headline, IP, if you're going to play the game, you better know the rules. That line from one of our favorites, I at least one of mine, IP, Roger Maltby, who I guess it was, about 3 years ago now, that when NBC reshuffled its broadcasting crew, he and Gary Koch got pushed out, kind of pulled back in immediately right after that, but just at a lesser rate and fewer times on TV. But your former friends at the Golf Channel decided to bring the on-course reporting legend back into the mix. He'll start off at AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. He'll be down here by me for Arnold Palmer and the Player Championship. We'll get into the Player a little bit later. He's going to hang out in Florida. This is a West Coast guy, going to stay on the East Coast as he'll work the Cadillac and then head up to Ohio for the Memorial. And by the way, it's is it the 50th? Yeah, it's the 50th anniversary of the Memorial, and Roger Maltby won the very first Memorial in 1976.
I think he lost his check after drinking so much after winning it, didn't know where it was.
Oh, the good old days.
There's a lot of stories I can tell you about Maltby. Great guy.
Yeah.
And I'm happy he's back again. I don't know that most people will really notice, but it's great for him. He's got to be 73, 74, and good for him. He got chewed out. He's been back, like you mentioned. He's been at a few events. I don't listen, but he got in trouble, last year with Padraig. I don't know if you remember. Padraig chewed him out. I think it was at the U.S. Senior Open because Roger wasn't helping him look for the lost golf ball.
I
and got into a big
that.
tiff.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
it's kind of like, yeah, whatever, man. So Padraig's usually pretty cool. I wasn't really down with him at that particular moment, but it was one of those things that even after the round, he was like pissed off at Maltby, and you should have been looking for the ball. And Maltby was like,
I got
"Well,
a
I had a
job to
job
do.
to."
I'm over
Now,
here.
maybe Roger should have been, but whatever. At this point, it's 2 hours later, and you've hopefully cooled down anyway.
Yeah.
So my thing
He's
is,
mad
if
at the
you're,
marshal out there with the colored flag. That's their job, man.
exactly. So whatever. I would have thought maybe after the round would have been more, "Hey, I'm sorry, hey, no problem, heat of the moment," but whatever. But Raj does. I can tell you some good stories. I had a real long dinner with him 15 years ago. I got stories for a lifetime with him. But anyway, so good for him. Again, I don't know that a whole lot of people will notice. I mean, again, I turned up the volume because I don't listen on that chaotic last hole that Hideki snapped it. And I got no information from this alleged super tower or whoever they're talking about. I get no information from whoever's on the field walking. I could see that the ball hit the thing and pop back in. And then I could hear Jim Nantz telling me and the whole audience that it didn't cross the hazard and Hideki's going to have to go back to the tee. No. So again, I turn up once in a while and I just reinforces why would I ever listen? I got 5 or 6 people that are supposed to be giving me some insight here, and I don't hear anything. And the one thing I hear is completely wrong. So, anyway, whatever. So,
Ian Page, get off the tee. You're all fired up. Get off the tee.
I already teed off.
We have a guest today, buddy. We just tighten it up. One of the greats from the National Football League to join us, Mr. Jamal Lewis. Here we are in the spotlight with somebody that walks around with his own light. NFL Super Bowl champion, MVP. Some people like the first part of his career. I prefer the 07, 08, 09 run, and everybody knows why. Because I like burnt orange and seal brown. That's why. Jamal Lewis is on the program in the bag. Going to talk about shoecase or showcase brands. What's the right way to say that? Because I know you're covering up cats' toes. Before the things that cover their toes.
It's showcase, man. It's showcase. I
Yeah.
couldn't. It's showcase, but it just fit. It just fit, and it's all about the culture of sneakers and the shoe game nowadays, man. My son plays football. I'm buying $200-$300 cleats, and now in golf and football, basketball, you seen at the Super Bowl, like everything was around, the cleats now, and my cleats in the NFL. So everybody's showcasing their shoes, And I just remember back in my day playing ball, I always kept my cleats or shoes in my trunk because I never knew when I was going to go train or I was going to jump out at a turf field or indoor, and go run or do my training. And I always had to grab my shoes and walk in. And these guys are still doing it now. So I said, hey, why not showcase your shoes and put them in a nice carrying case and where they're visible and you can carry all your accessories and the things that you need, and it's kind of really hit hard in golf. I think it's turning more into a golf bag. So I've been, meeting with country clubs and we're in PGA Tour Superstores right now. We're going into them this month. So it's been a good run, but good product, great idea. And it's been about a year and a half I've been working on it and really launching it and pushing it out there now.
I'm gonna definitely get my showcase shoe case immediately.
Yeah, I got one coming for you. Yeah,
I heard a little whisper in the wind that there might be a customized Jax showcase shoe case on the week from the gridiron to the grind. I love that, focusing on gear that supports committed athletes. We'll dive more and tell folks where they can get some of that good stuff in a little bit. I want to talk about your transition, your view of how one can move from the gridiron to the greens. It's an entirely different mentality. So after you dominate in the world of football, both in college and in the pros, what created your introduction, your transition into golf?
Oh, well, basically, man, just after playing and just trying to find something else competitive. I've always been, asked, hey, you play golf? You play golf? I'm like, no, I don't, But especially jumping into the business world, if you want to go meet and network and do those type of things with the right people, they're on the golf course, man, and they're making moves out there. So really just got me into it, and tournaments that the NFL has. A lot of guys throwing tournaments or whatever. So I had to pick it up and had to learn a little bit. You know, I'm not saying I'm the greatest golfer, but at the same time, I can connect. I like to hear it when I do connect, and but it's just it just was a light transition. Still getting into it and learning more about the game or whatever. But it's just a fun way to get out there with the guys and mingle. A lot of former players, they're playing. A lot of guys moved to Atlanta and they're living, you know, up here where I'm at, up in Milton, up north, and a lot of good golf courses and a lot of good networking, man. Just kind of keeping the brotherhood going and just staying competitive.
What has been the most challenging aspect of getting baptized into golf, but then trying to be in the business of golf? You were just in the business initially, it sounds like, of athletic lifestyle and performance gear, and then recognize cats are taking your stuff, and oh, wait, now there's a connection in golf as cats are putting their shoes in something maybe wasn't necessarily intended in the beginning for that, but now is the case.
Well, I've always had like a business mindset, always trying to just, you know, take what I'm doing and find out what's a need, what's the problem, what will people like, and try to, you know, just build something around that. And being, you know, playing golf and just the nature of golf and everything was pretty much consistent within golf. And now with more African Americans and more of our culture really getting into it, you know, you got to have fashion. You know, and I see folks, and I was the same way, right? And look, I might not be the best golfer, but I'm gonna look real good
Exactly.
when I'm out there. You better believe that. But yeah, man, just kind of, you know, just playing or whatever, and then now getting in the business of it and networking and meeting with a lot of companies and a lot of different businesses that are in the game of golf. It's just, you know, it just morphed into, hey, look, you know, now I'm playing golf and introducing the bag, taking it into the pro shops and things of that nature. And there's not many golf bags out there, shoe bags like I have with the functionality. A lot of them are just, you know, slip your shoes in there and then keep it moving. But at the same time, you know, the functionality of being able to put all of your cigars and your tees and your balls and your gloves and just the things that you can just take and throw in the back of your cart or whatever, keep them in one place. You can throw your speaker on there or
Thank you.
whatever and just set up. You know, I take it to Top Golf. I go to, if I'm going to just hit balls at Top Golf or whatever and just have a good time, I take my bag in, I got my stuff in there, and I can, you know, I can load up, and everybody's asking me, you know, what is that? Where can I find that?
But you
Where
know,
can
Jamal,
they find it? Real quick,
yeah, I was
IP,
going
go
to
ahead
ask
and
you.
sell it. Yeah, go ahead and sell it.
Showcasebrands.com. It's SHOCASE. So showcasebrands.com. You can go online, you can find it. Like I said, we will be in PGA Tour Golf Superstores, you know, within this month before spring. But pretty much, you know, direct to consumer online. You know, I have good inventory in. I have a premium bag, which is my leather bags, which we have white, we have black, we have a brown leather with black trim. And then I also have a nylon bag that we have in different colors and just really made that for more affordable for the youth. And so everybody can have one, but it's, you know, I have colors blue, pink, yellow, orange, brown, just different flavors, man, because, you know, like in golf, you know, you have colors. Your shirts are different colors, socks are different colors. So everybody's playing with it, and I have flavors for whoever.
But you know, here's one thing I want to ask, because I was like you, I didn't start playing golf till I was in my 30s, and you know, people, and I used to be a lawyer, you know, before I got into TV. So people would be like, "Yo, you play golf? We're gonna go out with a client." I'd be like, "Nah, I don't do that." And I learned later how much I was missing out because, like you say, I think you must feel it too. Like when you don't realize when you're playing golf, where you're, let's hope it's not a 6 hour round, but let's say it's a 4 or 5 hour round. You're with this decision maker or potential client or business person face to face for 5 hours. You don't get that at an NFL Super Bowl party or at a cocktail party or something. And then there's a bond. When you play in golf with somebody, there's a bond that never is broken. And I don't think people who don't play don't realize the amount of face time you get when you play golf with somebody.
Oh yeah, man. it's crazy. Like you said, you spend 4 hours with somebody, pretty much, you know about their family, you know where they're from, about their business and what they're into. And it's just really some good dialogue. And, you put together one round and then that turned into playing again next week or a month later or whatever. It just turns into a nice bond and you just get to know someone. It's almost like me playing football, being in the locker room with a teammate, and you're by his locker or you're in the same group as far as position. You get to know that person, and I think that just that bonding piece, the camaraderie, and also the competition. You know who got your back, and you pick each other up too. Now, you go into some games and you're like, hey man, hey look, you're gonna have to pull this one, or whatever. Or it might be a certain course you go to. I'm afraid of water. I'm afraid of water. And I'm afraid of
in life, Jamal, or just in golf? Okay.
Well, I think in life too. I'll get on a boat or whatever, but man, that water, look, water is scary. And my balls tend to find their way toward the water. And I'm not sure why, but I just get fearsome of that of bunkers and water.
Jamal, that leads us to one of our favorite segments on this program. We have so many, but there is none better than Show Us Your Balls. Show us your balls.
Well, I did.
My dude, your favorite golf ball. Do you have one over there? You got a little.
My favorite golf ball is the one is just one I won't lose, but I'm one of those guys that's like, hey, this is a Pro V1.
Dominant.
And mainly it's about, I guess distance and height on the ball or whatever. I tend to straight line or keep it down, but this ball kind of helped me get a little height on my ball and get a little distance. So that's why I use it. It is a little bit expensive, but hey, it is what it is.
I think that's the dominant ball right now. The Pro V or the Pro V1X.
This is the Pro. This is the Pro V1X right here.
Okay, yeah, the X. Good. All right.
This is when the IP breaks down your game based on your ball.
But like he said, the X gives you more height and more spin than the regular ball. So if you tend to hit it lower with less spin, the X is better for you. So
yeah, I was doing some business with Bridgestone Golf, and I learned, I did learn a lot about the balls because I went to the manufacturer where they make them and everything, and I did not know, there's balls that professionals use that a little more difficult for someone like myself. So you just can't go just pick up a ball and just think that, because it's expensive or because it's the one that Tiger plays with, that's what you got to have. Because some of them are different, So knowing what it's almost like I coach you to say, we're going to play in the rain, we're going to play in the snow, we're playing in some deep grass, we're playing on turf. Get you some shoes that work. So get you a ball that work.
No, stay out of the snow, Jamal. Please. Don't let anybody tell you to go.
Hey, in Cleveland now, we played in some snow now.
Oh, I didn't play in my Cleveland days. I was too young, but I would have waited for the chirping of the birds, for the cutting of the grass, all that. IP.
Yeah, well, I ain't playing in no snow, any ice, all my injuries. But you're right about the ball. That's what I always tell Jax is that people ask you, what ball should I play? I said, you should play the best ball for you. You should go, like you say, go to the factory or go get fitted for it, because a lot of the Bridgestone balls or even the Pro V1s, there are certain models that are only really beneficial if you swing driver more than 105 miles an hour, and if you don't, you're not going to get the benefit of it. So, but they do make a ball for you, and it will just be better for your game. Like you say, though, so many people be like, well, I want to play this ball because my favorite pro plays it. Yeah, it's great, but it may not be the best for you. So find out what's best for you and go get it. That's why they got all these options.
Yeah. Right. Jamal, before you leave, this is the Showcase Brands is an encore career. The work you did beforehand was glorious in the National Football League at Tennessee before that, but a specific year. Sir, please talk to us about what you reminisce about from 23 years ago when you were the finest rusher in the National Football League in 2003, MVP, I'm reading the whole list. You were the MVP. You were the Offensive Player of the Year in 2003, first team All Pro, Pro Bowl. You led the league in rushing yards with just under 2,100 plus 14 touchdowns. You were already a really good running back in the National Football League. You went out of the stratosphere in that particular moment. What warms you most when you think about that season?
What I think about that season was it wasn't a great season as a team. We did go to the playoffs, but we lost our quarterback in the first game of the season. So Anthony Wright was the backup, and he came in. And I remember Coach called me in the office. He said, "Hey, we lost the quarterback, so we're going to have to give you the ball at least 25, 30 times a game. And, just want to know, can you handle it?" And I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, can I handle it? Like, this is a dream come true, right?" But I just remember, man, just everything going right. It's like I got what I wanted. I wanted the ball all the time. But at the same time, my offensive line, just the work that we put in as far as just making sure that the running game ran right. And when you can go for 2,000 yards, man, things are just clicking. Things are clicking every single game. Is 150, 180, 200, you just rolling. But it's one of those things where it's like, you watch Jordan back in the day and you're like, he's in the zone. And I was just in that zone and everything was just clicking. The line was blocking. My fullback was blocking. And we was just wearing down defenses. And that was the I guess the most gratifying and satisfying thing was just watching the attrition, of football and how it works and just wearing down those defenses. And they know what you're going to do when you come in, but just being able to make everything work right because, like football, it's a team sport. So I got, 10 other people, that got to do things right out there in order to make it work. So everybody's blocking, everybody's handling their assignments, and everything's just clicking. And I think that, at the end of that season or going over 2,000, the last game, just with my mom down on the field and just getting the love from the crowd. And I can just remember just anytime I would step out there and almost break a long run, it's like all the stands, everybody in the stands just stood up. And then when I go down, they just go, oh, and you could just feel that, through the whole stadium. So I think that was the best part that I remember. And just being in that zone, man, and just making it happen. It's just a running back's dream.
Well, what I remember, because I'm a little more seasoned than I think everybody on this chat, is that like you talk about getting the ball 30 times, which 20 or so years ago, that was more the norm than obviously today. But I remember you having some long runs. I mean, a lot of long runs, 50, 60, 80-yard runs. And that just doesn't happen anymore. So like talk about, I don't know how many you had, but it was a lot that year. I remember like must have been a lot of runs over 50 yards.
Yeah. And that's what you got to have to go for 2,000. I remember when I saw Corey Dillon break the single game rushing record with 274 yards, I think. And I said to myself, I can do that. I said, but it takes some big runs early. And I remember in that Cleveland game, that first the second game of that year, and I think I had an 80-something yard run early. And then I had another big run after that. And by the time we went in for halftime, I was at 180. And I remember John Denogden, he said, "Hey, you're at 180. We might as well go for the record." I said, "Hey, that's on you guys." I said, "Go tell coach to keep running the ball." And they did it, and we was able to accomplish that. But, and we had to have big runs and to go for 2,000, same thing. We had to have big runs every game. And, it's kind of a gift and a curse because I remember Coach Coletto, the offensive line coach, he would see it and he would come to me and he would be like, "Hey, you chasing it, you chasing the big one." And I was. He just said, "Look, be patient because it'll happen." And I learned a lot, just from that, not just in football, but just life and even even playing golf, just don't chase it. Just trust in it, in the process, and trust in your offensive line, and basically just take it one run at a time and don't chase it. And that's what I did. And that's what kind of took me over, is being patient and just waiting for it, and it happened.
NFL MVP, Super Bowl champion Jamal Lewis with us here in the bag. Check out his beautiful bags, Showcase Brands. And if you have the YouTube edition, you've been salivating watching him just drape around his body in his at his home. Jamal, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
What an awesome conversation with Jamal Lewis. It's been a pleasure knowing him after cheering for him for 3 seasons, after not cheering for him for 6 years. It was really the pain that I have with those Ravens, those early 2000s Ravens. Those were supposed to be my players in Cleveland. Okay,
No,
that Super Bowl 35, that was my Super Bowl. Okay, still haven't had any of it. Let me calm down and talk to you about Jax Fan Foundation, our chief initiative. We call it Get There. It's a great name. I wonder who came up with that, IP. A full cost of attendance bridge that focuses on identifying elite scholars and making sure they get to the university of their dreams. We do it by providing a 4-year transportation scholarship, which covers airfare, baggage fees, and ground transportation. All the grades are in now, IP. I had 2 of 3 of our scholars, and now they're all in. Everybody's just killing it. We love it. The scholars, they did and currently do all the work. Jax Fan Foundation, we make sure they get there. Oh, the YouTube edition. Our boy Matt makes this little promo just feel as good as the work we do. For more information, log on to jaxfanfoundation.com. All right, IP, let's get into our deep drive. We're going to send this one out. Oh, yeah, let's send this one out about 450 yards. This is a very interesting topic. Is it Koivun? Is that the right way to say this young man's last name? Koivun?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Koivun. Jackson Koivun, who chose to return to Auburn as the world #1 amateur rather than play the PGA Tour this year. Now, he shot 25 under in 54 holes to win an invitational in Hawaii by 5 shots. Auburn won the team competition too. He has some really good teammates, by the way, because the team shot minus 77 for the event. There was a conversation. Golf reporter Dan Rappaport put this up on X and said, last year he told me, talking about Jackson, he told me about his decision to return, saying, quote, college is too good. If you shoot 25 under 54 holes, I concur. College is too good. It's hard to beat. Free travel. All your friends are there. Get your education. Left out the ladies. That's okay. All the guys on tour cherish their college years. I'll go when I'm ready. It was refreshing to read this from Jackson. I don't know exactly if I initially went, oh, yeah, that's great, because I'm always thinking about when your body is your profession, there's a shelf life. And if you're playing some of the best golf of your life when you're 20, that could happen. Usually it's a little bit later. This game matures with you a little bit. But all in all, it's a good vibe in a time where we're watching college sports turn into pro sports, #1, right in front of us. And also a young person that's not in a hurry. I think clearly raised well and has a good head on his shoulders thus far. We'll be tracking him if he's as good as a pro as he is as an amateur.
Well, and that's the big if. I think he probably knows that too, is that there's no guarantee on the PGA Tour. Okay? None. 0. All you do is earn your status or your card. And all that does is give you a right to fail. Okay, this is not the NBA where you're going to come out as a 3rd pick and get a slotted amount of money that's guaranteed, or NFL and get a $50 million signing bonus. It's not going to happen. What happens so often with these guys, there's been a couple that have made it. The kid Clanton from Florida State, and he, last year he played enough events and he got status, but it's rare. It's rare. And if you happen to make it through, and whether it's Q School Corn Ferry Tour, I'll just tell you what it is, and they know. Your status level is way down on the PGA Tour. So you say, oh, great, I got my card, I got status. Great. You know what? You're not getting into the first 10 events. because your status is so low on what we call the reshuffle list. You're not getting in. You're not getting into the signature event. So now we're at the end of Florida swing in March, and guess what? You haven't played one event. You haven't made $1. Okay, so now you got about 3 or 4 months to make $1 million and make 5 or 6 cuts. And you know what happens? You don't do that, and you're right back to Q school. That's what happens to 95% of these guys. And oh, by the way, Q school only gets you back to the Corn Ferry Tour. So there's no hurry. There's no guarantee. You can look up. People are listening. You can look up Ty Tryon. You can look up Tad Fujikawa. You can look up all these guys that were allegedly can't miss, and they were going to be the next thing. Never made it. Never made 1 year on the PGA Tour. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the case with this kid, but right, enjoy your time at Auburn. You got some great teammates, and if it comes and you make it and you win on tour, good for you. But there's no hurry.
IP, I love where you're coming from on it. I was just straddling that space of, boy, oh boy, the expectations that are being put on this young man, first of all, are outlandish.
Yeah.
They're outlandish. There's these amateur and golf benchmarks that he's been around, or even past Tigers numbers from 30, 35 years ago. But that, I mean, that's just that.
Well, exactly.
That's just that.
And you know, right. And it is what it is. You can't take that away from him, but the tour is just deeper now. People are better because of technology and TrackMan and coaching and all this kind of stuff. So it's just harder to win now, and it's never been easy to win. But right, the expectations are he's going to win 20 times. Let me tell you something. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to win 20 times on the tour outside of what Scheffler just did. It's just hard. So you're right. And I wish him all the best. But you just don't know. It's just unlike other. And the problem is it's not guaranteed. I mean, if you could get guaranteed $50 million, it'd be a different story. But that doesn't happen.
IP, that was a stinger. Way to pop that thing right down the middle with a little riser for the deep drive today. Let's head over to the range for range session. We're really going to the cart barn. All right. We're going to a new age situation. You brought this up on an earlier episode, the single. As the video rolls around, and hopefully Matty Shoes will have this up for you on the YouTube edition. I'm trying to see who makes this. It was Lombardi Golf that put it up on X, but the single is its own name brand. Maybe it's made by Lombardi Golf. Who knows? But
this golf cart, single golf carts. I mean, it's such a great idea to literally, for one rider, you might have got a divorce, or you don't want to play with your friend because he nags you and he's always talking about how bad a shot he hit. But the really cool thing is this. It follows you. You can put it in follow mode. So what an awesome, awesome, awesome cart.
This thing is beautiful, dude. And some of the audio is hilarious on that clip that I sent you, because it's basically talking about if you had a divorce, you know what I'm talking about. You want to ride by yourself. This guy's out of control. That's talking about this single golf cart, one seat, enough to put one bag on the back, and away we go. And you've noted many times for pace of play, everybody scatter. Get to your own ball.
Oh yeah, it's a game changer. It's
realistic. Will courses start buying this thing?
Well, I don't know, but some courses, as I've mentioned, have now done, even with the double cart, they'll just charge you an extra $10 and you take your own cart. So again, the math is what it is. It's 38 to 40 minutes on average faster per round without 2 people in a cart, even if you know what you're doing. So it's a game changer to me. I think I think more people ought to walk in the first place, but if we do, go to single carts, and whether it's what you just showed, or whether it's a double cart and you pay a $10 extra fee, let's go. We ain't got to have, drop me off over here. I'm over here. Hey, good cart golf. Shut up. Hey, get to your ball and let's move. And
can we make the single road worthy, by the way? I want to drive from the crib to the Biltmore in the single. If I can get that thing amped up to about 25 miles an hour, I bet you we can.
Do whatever you want, man.
I can't. There's a lot of regulations in Coral Gables. I need to make sure I'm road
F those regulations, man. Do what you want. Just don't drink and drive.
There you go. IP, thank you very much for the trip to the cart barn during rain session. That's the best. All right, come on, Bryce. Be a DJ. Pump that jam for IP as we go to the 19th hole. All right, IP, first topic for you. Most interesting thing about being the only brother in a foursome. We saw a clip of a comedian who loves to play golf. He talked about the amazing experience it is when you first walk up as the only black cat at a golf course in a foursome, and the hilarious things that go on in cats' minds until you pipe it down the middle or chip one in or knock one from 20 feet. Boom, all of a sudden, you're the guy.
Well, brother golf is different. Everybody who knows it knows, that we talk shit, and, we'll be like, when your ball's up in the air, we'll be like, get in the bunker. You know what I mean? Whereas, the other stuff is always, hey, Jim, good shot. Well, Bob, great play, even though it was, so there's that.
And they're thinking everything that we say.
Yeah, and there's that element of, you got to have a thick skin, playing with the brothers, and we're going to be laughing, we're going to be talking. So that is one thing that's very interesting, is that, you want to say all those things, and I'm so old now, I don't really care. I will say it. But I love playing with the brothers because that's what you will get. You'll get that kind of tough love, get in the bunker. I can't believe you hit that shot. How you going to make bogey from there? So that to me is different. There's a whole different vibe, rather than the whole nice shot, Bill. Oh, that'll play. All those cliches. It opens up over there. No, it doesn't. Shut up. So you ain't going to hear that with the brothers. They're going to tell you, yeah, you're dead over there. You might as well drop one now. You clown.
Speaking of clowning, our boy Chambly, Brando, he did it again.
You know what?
No, we're doing it.
I don't.
It is the Players, a major IP. It's affectionately called the fifth major, but it is not a major championship. I'm sorry, I'm taking your take. It's your take, sir. As Brandon Chambly said, the Players Championship is good as, if not better, than the major championships.
Yeah. Again, how many has he won? I forgot.
0.
Oh, same as me and you. Yeah. So maybe if he'd won 2, I could say, yeah, you know what, you've won a couple. You're kind of nostalgic about it, but you haven't. You only won one tournament in your whole PGA Tour career. It was an opposite field event, so stop it. And the problem is, this gets me whole started on the whole algorithm that we got to feed between the nonsense, the stupid takes, the absolute absurd nonsense that is for clicks, yelling the loudest like that guy that does pizza reviews and Stephen A., and they know it. And that's what the algorithm, rewards it. So to me, I don't even want to talk about this guy because that's what he wants.
But the responses were fantastic from the guys who have played and won a major championship. Let's start with Lee Westwood, who said, I'm worried about Brandel. Someone check on him, please. After he said, the Players to me stands alone and above the other 4 major championships. It's not just a major. It is, in my estimation, the best major. What? And then the best was lefty Phil Mickelson coming back after the statement, I've won it, it's not. Talking about the Players. It's done.
Exactly. Like I said, if he'd won 1 or 2, you could maybe say, well, and I'm not going to take away from the fact that it's a very strong feel and the golf course is excellent, but it's not a major. So stop it.
IP, next topic. I didn't love this comparison. That's why I brought it to you. I leave my burdens at the altar of Paige. Is that with all of this haranking and just elbow room pushing and what tour are we going to be on, and is Liv going to be able to pay all its ducats and all the good? Of course, they'll pay everything, but will it fulfill everything in the sense of what it is? Is Bryson? Is he trying to be Arnold Palmer? I didn't see the connection other than the king, the man of the people, that part of it, I guess, but that's not the legacy connection I'm vibing with right now. Your thoughts?
You know what? I don't know. He's got a great personality,
sure.
And I think that's being shown by YouTube, not in any kind of tour, because we've talked about before, you really can't show your personality in a golf tournament. All you're doing is doing that. YouTube allows you to be you, and if people want to take a peek in and see that. So yeah, I mean, he's in the driver's seat for whatever he wants to do, but he wouldn't have been able to show all that without YouTube as well. So, look, the guy came out of SMU. He was a physics major. He was using same length clubs, doing all this stuff. So he changed the game that way for all these golf nerds, but now he's become this thing. Now, I can't root for him because of who he likes as president, but you know what? He's definitely a great personality that's good for the game. So, now how long is that going to last? I don't know. We'll see.
Next topic, IP. Liv is getting world golf ranking points. So That'll happen now. Points will be awarded on a limited basis to the top 10 finishers at every event, which has now made Liv a little upset that there's not enough going around. There's not that we want more points now. Ease it in. Everybody wants everything every moment. You got a little taste, and nobody's watching you and your member guests with your shorts on.
But there's plenty of PGA Tour events that ain't nobody watching like either. That, so yeah. That's, whatever. And again, I'm in the who cares department. Who cares? You knew going in that you didn't have them. The only thing it matters for is for the majors and for the Ryder Cup. So for guys who don't have that status, I guess, but you knew going in. So I don't know what you're belly aching and bitching for, that, you signed up and took the bag. So that's what it is. So if you get it, if you get it for the top 10, that's what it is. You don't like it, then leave, go somewhere else. So, I'm not really sure what the big problem is. So it's like you say, now they've gone to 72 holes to try to get all this. Well, you guys started this a few years ago. You weren't worried about all that stuff. Now you're worried about it. Now Bryson's saying we didn't sign up for this. I don't like
that. Exactly.
Well, you know what? I mean, it ain't wrong, but when you take a bag, there's certain things you got to do. If you don't like it, don't take the bag. It must be me. Is it me?
Nope.
Exactly.
Nope. Sometimes, but not this time. Not this time, IP. Last topic. We celebrate our own this month and many other months on this program. Every damn show, we're celebrating blackness. Right. But I want to talk about America's course for a second. Called that due to the Powell family. Renee Powell, the daughter of Bill Powell, the first black man to build and operate his own course. It was in my home state, up in the northeast corner there in East Canton, Ohio. Clearview Golf Club, still there, still operating. They tip the cap of a man who didn't take no for an answer. All right? Took all the money he had. Exactly. Went to Canton, Ohio. And family got shovels out, baby. All right? They were out there moving earth to make a beautiful place. And now still a part of the family legacy and really a part of American history, black history, there in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, no, exactly. And his daughter, Renee, is a great LPGA pro and does a lot. She just had a nice Black History talk in New York last week with our boy Wendell Haskins and somebody else. But it's great. He did what I think a lot of people do. So, you know what? You can't play here. You know what then? I'm going to build my own sandbox. I don't need you. Right. And that's what he did, and it's still standing. Kind of, so I think we should do that more often. We don't need to play with you. We don't need to play your club. We'll build our own stuff, and we'll own it. Kind of reminds me of that story real quick. The dude from Remax who went to Castle Pines, wanted to join Castle Pines, and they were like, okay, great. He joined in like October or something. They assessed him for like $50,000. He was like, well, he wrote a letter saying, hey, I only joined in like late October, so I guess you should probably prorate my assessment. The response was, don't ever question us, you're out. So he said, okay.
Quit the club.
So he was, he had his own. He said, you know what, F you, bought the land next to them, built his own club called the Sanctuary, and didn't let any of those clowns join. So that's what you do.
There it is. IP, that was a beautiful run through the 19th hole, checking the golf schedule, the PGA Tour. Oh, yes, one of our great places of golf memory and experience. AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, the defending champ, is Rory himself. And you will be watching with the volume off as CBS tries to piss you off the entire scenario. But you're in the early rounds and on Golf Channel. Come on.
No, I don't listen to any of it. It's just, what are they going to tell you or me that I can't see? Well,
particularly the course. I'll give you it on this week on a course that we played. It's like,
but any course, right? It's like,
I know.
Here he is, okay, I see the yardage, 185. So what? Well, he's going to hit 6-iron here. Okay, really? I mean,
oh boy,
I can see that. Okay. Yes. Anyway, it's a signature event, by the way, first signature event.
Big money coming up in that.
Yeah.
LPGA off, which IP's fine with. I'm headed over to Naples over the weekend. Going to see our boy Butcher Gross. Going to play some golf with our boy Josh Lippo and the McCarthy's. It's going to be a fantastic time.
It's a city.
Yeah, and also the Chubb Classic going on. Chubb Classic for the for the champions. World Tour, I believe, has the week off and then off to the Magical Canyon Open. February 19th through the 22nd. IP, we did it again for the people. We got it done. Special thanks to Jamal Lewis for coming by, showing us his product and his balls. We I'm glad he embraced the segment. Thought he might jump through the screen and punch us in the face, but
And dude still looks like he's about 265.
chiseled. If you were just listening on the podcast, not just, if you chose to listen on the podcast, you missed some visual. You missed it. Go ahead to YouTube and get in there. We could always use your help as well. For the crew.
Yeah.
And someday you will meet them all in public. I'm trying to decide when we debut the visuals of Bryce Gelman, of Matt Schulzen, and Antoinette Andrews, the crew that makes this really work on In the Bag. For Ian Page, I'm Jason Jackson, and I swear to God,
You better
you
play fast.
You better not. We go.